Okay, let's have a look at round one. The funny thing about round one, the night before I'd been nervous about the tournament. I think as the tournament generally, but also I guess I was worried about losing to a 1700. I thought it'd be quite embarrassing. You go for a whole day to play just one game, one quality game, and it's against someone like 500 points, nearly 500 points lower than you. You think, well, is there a possibility I could lose? But I could tell very quickly in this game, White was having problems straight out of the opening, actually, even on move 2 here. He tried to surprise me. I think he's about 135 ECF. So I think provisional 1700 FIDE rating. Or maybe it is 1700, I don't know. Chilton, in fact, I'll just quickly look him up. I don't think he'll be on the official FIDE rating list. Chilton, so playing White, my opponent, Chilton. No, there's a different Chilton. This is J.Chilton. There's an Alexis Chilton. No, I don't think my opponent's FIDE rating is there. Okay, but he's about 130 ECF, I think. Cast, does it really matter? If the game's got value, it's got value, I guess. But I'm just interested in myself. James Chilton is 139 actually ECF. So he thought he played more like 50 at the end of the game. So let's see why. Last year apparently is 141. Okay. So E6, and he surprised me already with F4. And all I'm thinking at this moment is like this square. After D5 E5, he was really going to play E5. This square is weak. So that's what happened. D5 E5, and usually after E5 you're chasing a knight back to D7. But this knight is in no position usually to exploit this square. Here it's different. There's two attractive alternatives already, just knight E7 to F5 or knight H6 to F5, then maybe H5. I know that's not the end of the game, as has been proven last year in the London Classic, where I had a nice knight on F5. It's not the end of the game. Game continues after that. If your king's on the queen side, it can be slaughtered. I know that now. But here, I'm playing against someone lower rated as well, having a nice knight already. Heading for that square is already a comfortable feeling. Some of my nerves about the game already dispelled, especially after the next two moves. So D4, okay. I'm thinking C5 is going to be more powerful than usual as well. It's not only looking good on F5, it's actually putting more pressure on D4. So what is White doing here after C5? Am I going to build up loads of pressure naturally and easily on D4? Because this is looking dangerous. And okay, he plays sort of Nimzovich conception, taking away from the centre, but I'm not sure this is the right position for that. D takes C5, he's accelerating my developments on a more practical level. And now Bishop B5 check. I'm thinking if Bishop D7, well, I'm losing my target. It's a nice target to have, that bishop. Maybe I can even double attack B5 and G1. So instead of Bishop D7, I'm playing Knight C6, just leaving that as a sitting target. He wastes another move now instead of normal development. Another move. Both these knights still not developed. You'll see. And okay. Here was decision time actually for this. Bishop G1s or Queen H4s or Bishop G1 Queen H4 or Queen B6s. Let's stick on a Qe2 here. Actually, there's probably a technical route here which I didn't take. I just thought I'll just get on with it, just castle an F6 rather than doing anything clever at all, because I thought simple chess, because I've got the advantage in development here. I don't need to do anything clever like combination. In fact, Rivka's not giving Bishop G1. Bishop G1, maybe does that throw away most of the advantage? It does throw away half the advantage, actually. This check is useless here, I think, because of G3, and that's all the advantage, nearly thrown away equality. So it's good I didn't do that. That's not winning a pawn or anything. And this other route is probably not doing anything here. Queen B6, maybe just Bishop takes C6. No, just Bishop E3. That's harmless as well. In fact, advantage to White. here. Okay, so what I did was perfectly fine. I just carried on developing. I just played castles because I thought f6, like last year's first round when I got stuffed by an IM. You know, you just played f6, natural stuff, and just, you know, get all your pieces out of the box, especially this bishop. You just activate all your pieces with f6 as the lever to do that. So c3, another move, not developing anything. Recipe for disaster. I'm actually looking at other boards near to us. I'm thinking, this is such a weird game. My opponent is not developing any pieces here, which might actually be the theme of the game. I'll put that as the instructive theme, maybe. You know, develop some pieces. You know, he's made lots of pawn moves. He's made queen move, sort of artificial queen move. Okay, I know he's kept flexibility here for casting queenside as well as kingside. Casting kingside also needs bishop e3 if that's going to happen, though, because there's bishop cutting through that diagonal. Another problem with this early f4. So anyway, f6 happens, and he plays bishop e3. So he's giving himself the flexibility of casting both sides. The problem is, with this knight still at home, he doesn't last too long from this position. I just take on e3, knowing that, you know, I'm not only weakening my dark squares, but I'm weakening the opponent's dark squares. Especially f2 proves critical here. So queen takes, I just take on e5, and he took on e5. Maybe there's better there, just giving up a pawn or something, but knight g4, and now I'm just winning an entire rook. After knight f2 is happening, queen g3, knight f2, winning an entire rook. Plays knight f3, just sacking the rook, giving away the rook, I don't know. Queen h3, maybe there's a threat, you know, knight g5 if this queen wasn't on g5, or bishop d3 if, you know, maybe there's a potential for a threat here, I don't know. Probably not. So anyway, I extinguish everything. I just play knight f2. So if king takes, there's just queen b6 check. Not only am I pinning the knight down, I'm also winning this bishop in one go. And if queen h4, well, I'll just take the queen. If queen h5, just knight e4, and then that looks like a rook up with this diagonal blocked. And with queen b6 coming next. So anyway, after knight f2, basically he just resigned. And I was one of the quickest to finish, despite us having, you know, spent a lot of time in each of the opening moves. I was trying to play accurately. I was spending quite a bit of time. You know, move 5 or something, you know, a lot of other games around us had been to like move 10 or 12. But because the game finished at move 14 after knight f2, this knight back to f2 here, it was one of, I think, the first 3 to finish in FIDE Open on that first day, round 1. So it's been a bit of a hot and cold sequence of events. I'm a bit knackered actually. This happens when there's a lot of travelling, you know, to the event. It's about an over an hour to get there. My train, you just get completely knackered throughout this event. And I think towards the end of last year, I was totally exhausted in the last rounds. I think I need to sort of try and conserve energy to sort of get the energy back somehow for the later rounds, especially if I'm going to be playing strong players later on. Today I've got a lower rated player again, so I'm hoping I'm not going to get blasted again. If I did win today, if I'm going to get blasted again tomorrow, it would be like a strange pattern of either too weak or too strong relative to my rating opponents. Maybe that's going to stabilise in future rounds, I don't know. By the way, someone in round 1 had done a phone forfeit. I bumped into him at the trade station. Apparently his phone went off. So my fear about the iPhone is a real fear. Someone thought he had turned his phone off and it hadn't. But I think you've got to give it to an organiser or a friend or something if you're going to take a phone into venue. Some 24:30 IM. He just, phone forfeit in the first round. But anyway, this was my first round. I know I've done it in reverse chronological order, but yesterday's loss was more meaty anyway than this game. Okay, I don't know if it's worth doing a quick summary. Just White didn't develop any pieces really, and gave me everything I wanted in the position. Just to castle and play f6. It's just French defence, standard strategy. Get rid of this bad bishop. Just develop all your pieces and smash the white centre up. And winning a rook here was an unusual new bonus. Okay, comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.